stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part 2 of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mublet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin.
Yeah, and I just want to say one more thing, brother. Jessica should be watchful and vigilant the moment that she hits dirt in the UK. Okay, the moment that she lands at Heathrow. She should be vigilant and be watching what's going on, because we know how the British government feels about rebel media. I mean, we saw what happened with that quote-unquote judge and Ezra Levant, who was just trying to report during that lawsuit that Tommy Robinson had, calling him in special into her chambers and reading him the riot act.
Pointed out, wasn't someone pointing them out?
Yeah.
I think it was the mainstream media actually pointing it out to the judge. I think that's what happened. The mainstream media, those cowards who pretend to report the real truth and they're lying to us all. I think that's what happened, wasn't it, Dave?
Well, I don't know whether they actually pointed Ezra out to the judge. I just know what happened when the judge called him, specifically him, into her chambers and ordered him to report things just a certain way. That, Jeff, made me think of maybe someone from the Stasi ordering somebody in East Germany just exactly what to say in one of their press reports. And Levant handled himself very well. He did what I would have done, because like him, I wouldn't have wanted to go to jail just for reporting the news. He waited until he got back to Canada, and he unloaded. When he got out of that bitch's jurisdiction.
Well, that would have made a big story, Dave, if he did, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, but you know, Jeff, you know yourself how strenuously the Trudeau government would have been to get Ezra Levant out of jail. They wouldn't have lifted a finger, because that's just the way it's done. But guys, anyway, we have another story. We covering Brexit and the people's view of Brexit and things of that nature. And I came across a story, and I gave it to Jeff. Jeff, you've got it in your Skype there. It's not very long. Yeah. If you'd like to read that one, I think it's worth it, and I think it's worth our comments. I think I already know what you're going to think. But anyway, folks, this story, as Jeff cues it up, you want to go looking for this. This comes from Breitbart, okay, and it says Burkow vows to, quote, fight to stop PM proroguing Parliament to deliver Brexit. Okay, and that means temporarily shutting Parliament down, okay, just to deliver Brexit. So if you guys want to go looking for it, that's where you go to Breitbart to find it. Jeff, if you want to go ahead and take over and read that story, my brother.
Yeah, as I say, Burke out to fight with every breath to stop Boris suspending Parliament to deliver Brexit. Pipsqueak ears as well. I just want to put that in. You're a horrible little scumbag. We all detest you, you cockroach. Sorry, Dave, I had to say that before I started the story.
No, that's what Jeff.
Anyway, the Remain backing Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow, had vowed to fight with every breath to stop Prime Minister Boris Johnson from proroguing, I think that's the word, how we pronounce it, proroguing Parliament to ensure a no-deal Brexit is delivered by October the 31st. Prime Minister Johnson is said to be considering proroguing temporary, it's his little sideline, temporary suspending. That's what it says, that's what it means, ladies and gentlemen. Parliament, in order to prevent the Remain that dominated the House of traitors, commentators. Oh, sorry, Dave, I'm running away from. Well, it's got me said the House of Traitors, isn't it? Another day.
Hypocrites. Go ahead, yeah.
There you go. With the country currently scheduled to leave on Halloween, it seems a very, you know, the day is the Halloween, the dance of devils and all these things. It seems very strange that day, and it all falls in with the Luciferians that they all are. You understand where I'm going with that, don't you, Dave? Speaking at the Edinburgh Festival, Fringe, in comments reported to The Guardian, the old Guardian, Mr. Burkoff, or whatever his name is, said that he is inspired to stop the Prime Minister from using any means necessary to deliver Brexit under the pretext that the House of Commons must have its way. Yes, John, everybody needs to have their way where you're concerned. And if there is an attempt to circumvent, to bypass, or God forbid, to close down Parliament, this is an anathema to me, he continued. Well, he thinks an anathema to him. He continued, the British people voted on June the 23rd, 2016 to leave the EU, is what agreed and accepted was a fair and democratic referendum. However, Mr. Burko fears that to temporarily suspend Parliament in order to deliver on a decision contrary to the individual wishes of the pro-EU MPs would be a betrayal of a democratic society. Double speak there, Dave. Him that speaks with forked tongue. That's how it's coming across that bit. Mr. Burko vowed, I will fight with every breath in my body to stop that happening. We cannot have a situation in which Parliament is shut down. We are a democratic society, and Parliament will be heard. Just a minute, Dave. I've just got myself all worked up now. I'm doing a John Burke of it. It's very difficult. I will be heard. Advocates of prorogation do not want to shut down Parliament. However, merely temporarily suspend its sitting. European Union Withdrawal Act, which Parliament passed, can come into force on time. Burkoff's remarks come as a poll revealed that a majority of Britons, 54%, want Brexit delivered by any means, including suspending Parliament, if necessary, to prevent MPs from stopping it. When asked by a member of the audience if Parliament was able to stop a clean, no-deal Brexit, the Speaker replied, yes. Last month, the Speaker had also claimed that a second referendum is possible and that there is no reason that a second vote could not undo the decision made by the British people in 2016. In May, Mr. Burkoff defied expectations that he would stand down this summer after being imposed for a decade by pledging to stay on in what Brexiters saw as part of Burkoff's machinations to disrupt a no-deal Brexit, which he denied was inevitable if Britain could not agree an exit treaty with the EU. Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage criticised Mr. Burkoff for acting way above his station and for pledging to stay on longer as Speaker, saying what Burkoff is really saying is this: if a Conservative Prime Minister tried to take us out with no deal WTO terms on the 31st of October, he's going to make sure that the House of Commons gets a chance to vote it down, even though it is already the law of the land. The Speaker was meant to remain politically neutral, anything but, as the arbiter of the lower house, is also an outspoken critic of, wait for it, United States President Donald Trump, and a known Remain supporter. boycotting June's state banquet in honour of the President's visits and effectively banning him from addressing Parliament ahead of his 2018 working visits, which drew criticism from the British lawmakers. I'm not sure if that's the end of that date. I think it is. But
that is, Jeff.
Let me ask you, what do you think of that, Dave? This little pipsqueak, who the bloody hell do you think he is? He is, isn't he?
Wow. This guy makes me sick, Jeff. I mean, seriously. I have to say this. Yeah, I have to say this because this has been going on for the past 3 years. And for the past 3 years, our Jan Rennie has been absolutely right when she has said that no Remainer should have any part in any negotiations or anything else to do with Brexit. All right, they lost 3 years ago in the vote, and what they should do is back off and let the let the Leave people take the reins and get the UK out of the EU. That's just the way it should work. But as we know, Jeff, lefties are a lot like Mohammedans. They hate to lose. So they're going to fight this tooth and nail to try and make sure that it doesn't happen. I mean, you heard this crap that Burkow was saying. Oh, well, yeah, a second referendum is possible. Oh, spare me, okay? The dice cast. The vote was taken, and it didn't go in his favor. Boo hoo. You don't like it. Resign from Parliament and go off in a corner and pout somewhere. Okay.
It goes to
you're right.
Sorted little sex parties that it goes to every Friday and Saturday night. There you go. We all know, John, what you're up to, you dirty, sleazy, horrible little scumbag. We all know you.
Yep. Yeah. And
everybody else knows you now. We know about all the sordid sex parties you go to. Sorry, Dave. Oh dear, if I let the cat out of the bag, sorry.
Yeah, and Jeff, the one thing that you said is absolutely true. This noise that he talks about, that Parliament has to have its say as if it's a person, is complete garbage. Okay, this was a referendum. That means the people get to vote. That means that Parliament gets to stab out. Okay, the treaty should have been negotiated by people in favor of Leave, and it should have been done and dusted already. Okay, and this is just them trying to do it. And look, if Bobo has to shut down the Parliament temporarily in order to get this done without their interference, then I say good on him. And for those, by the way,
I think it's an illegal Parliament, Dave. I'll be honest with you. This is an illegal Parliament. People spoke, and they're still there trying to be in opposition to us. They're illegal.
Well, and I want to point out and I want to point out one other thing, Jeff. I want to point out one other thing here. If you go to the show page, to the Blog Talk Radio page for this show, all right, you'll see a picture in there, and I put in there House hypocrites. These are people in Parliament who come from districts, and they're mostly but Labour, although there are a few Conservative, but they come from Leave districts that voted Leave, all right. And yet they, in Parliament, voted to remain. They voted, they didn't vote to remain, but they've been working for Remain in Parliament. The moment they get to London, they get involved in the swamp there. All right, and that's why I put in their House hypocrites. So, Jeff, you're absolutely right, man. This is politicians just acting like certain parts of the male anatomy. And this Burkow guy makes me completely sick. Bobo, if you got to shut these idiots down in order to give the people what they want, there you are, Jeff. I'll have a little bit more respect for you.
Have the balls, have a big pair of balls and do it. Stuff what they say. Let them jog on. That's what we say, isn't it, Dave? Let them jog on. They're betrayers. They are betrayers. They are the traitors of this country. And Mr. Johnson, can you just do your job, brother, and get it done? Because we have been hanging about. We voted democratically for this. We had our say. Just make it happen. Just make it happen and stuff them in who's sitting in the house. We don't care about them. They mean nothing to us. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there, you know. But, Dave, I think I have expanded myself a little bit. I'm probably going to have to take a bit. No, I'm going to have to call back in a couple of minutes, Dave, just to let you know. And I think we're becoming very close to our guests that will be joining us as well, Dave. So maybe I'll jump off right now, Dave. I'll pass you back. We don't mind if I do this, Dave, so it gives you a bit of time.
Yeah, I'm going to run a quick story, Jeff, that we have, but it's an important one. You know the story I'm going to run, so if you want to go ahead and call back in while I run this, I will.
Okay, Dave. Be back in a minute, mate.
All right. Now, guys, this here comes from Breitbart again, and it's not something that we're comfortable talking about. I'm going to just admit that to you right now, because this goes to the heart of things for anybody that has a soul. And that we're talking about Islamic cruelty to animals. And the story that I'm going to run right now is from Breitbart again. It is the headline on it is Sweden: animal cruelty in migrant-dense areas as cats, hedgehogs, and swans are killed. Yes, this is upsetting to people, but you guys need, in our opinion, to hear these stories once in a while, just so you know that when Jeff and I say that one of the things that goes on in Islam is animal cruelty, or rather cruelty to animals, that we're not just talking through the hats we don't wear, okay? We are telling the truth. We are giving you guys the truth. And we're going to go ahead and run this right now. This is going to take right at about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So please give this a listen from Breitbart. You're listening to the English Defense League radio show, folks.
Sweden: animal cruelty in immigrant-dense areas as cats, hedgehogs, swans killed. By Chris Tomlinson on August 12, 2019. According to the head of a Swedish animal protection group, behavior in immigrant-dense areas is responsible for an increase in cruelty cases toward hedgehogs and other animals. Earlier this week, Swedish media spoke to Annika Sjöberg, the head of the animal welfare group Djurens Vänner in the municipality of Nassau, who claimed that youths were using local hedgehogs as footballs and kicking them around, Nyheter Idag reports. Sjöberg spoke to the online publication saying, "These are immigrant-dense areas, unfortunately," and added that the group used to visit schools and write notes in various languages in order to inform migrant children of the laws on animal cruelty. So there is some difference in how animals are handled in Sweden and in other countries. We have quite good animal welfare legislation here in Sweden which we are used to and grow up with, but it is not in all countries, unfortunately, Sjöberg added. While it is mainly hedgehogs that have been on the receiving end of cruel behavior, Sjöberg noted that other animals had been exposed to cruelty as well, including hares, cats, and swans, indicating that footage of them having their throats cut was circulating on social media. She went on to add that the group may start visiting local schools again in the near future to inform children, saying, "Maybe that is something we need to start up again. Make small information sheets for children and tell them how to handle them and what you can and can't do. I think that's pretty important." Other countries in Western Europe have also had difficulties with migrant behavior toward animals. Specifically the Muslim community during the end of Ramadan, where some have been accused of cruelty while butchering sheep and other animals for the religious holiday of Eid. Last year in France, for example, dozens of sheep were rescued from a garage in the northern suburbs of Paris, where the underground slaughter of animals during Eid celebrations has become a major issue. Follow Chris Tomlinson on Twitter at @TomlinsonCJ or email at tomlinson@breitbart.com.
And there you go, guys. That is the story, and it's a sad truth. And I'll just say, there is a show I did, I believe, Jeff, last year in 2018 called Animals, and I went into a little bit more detail about this. Got some research from several places, and this goes on all over the place. The stories that I got hold of, for example, there was an animal rescue agency in Denmark where some of these quote-unquote migrants, these Islamic migrants, have settled. And there were reports that they were gutting kittens and allowing them to just walk along with their guts hanging out. Okay, and there was a report that they tried to go in, a woman from that rescue service tried to go in and rescue a cat, and she was chased out and attacked. Now, the question...
They're evil scumbags.
Exactly. The question one would ask, Jeff, would be, well, wouldn't the Danish police authorities go back in with her, armed to the teeth, and get that cat? No, didn't happen. No. In fact, what's happened there is that the animal rescue agency there in Denmark refuses to go into that area now. So we see this going on, and we see this happening. Jeff, this is how Islam, one of the ways that Islam creates monsters, and you see this, Jeff, whenever you find a serial killer. One of the profiling things that they use to identify them is that they're cruel to animals early on in life.
Yeah.
This is very common, and this is something that is common in Islamic societies. So, guys, this isn't cultural.
That's
this
true.
is Islam.
That is factual, David. People, don't have to go, oh, I think that's wrong, because it's the truth. That is the truth, isn't it, Dave? What we say is the truth. We've got no reason not to actually tell the truth of these absolutely barbaric things that goes on to these poor animals. They should not be allowed to keep animals. They are not right in their head to keep animals, whatever. Even keeping a tadpole, you know what I mean? They don't even abuse a tadpole, Dave. What can you say about these people, mate? They are beyond, I don't know, Dave, there's got to be a name. I just can't think of it. But it defies all logic for people to be as evil as what they are. But then again, they read this horrible book of theirs, possesses their brain with total evilness, and I suppose that is it. It's a form of possession, isn't it, Dave? That evilness? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it is, Jeff. It is. And we're going to get our guest in here, try to get our guest in here. And we're going to go ahead and play a tune while we try to do that. And this is a tune that you found, Jeff, while we try to get this great guy in here, okay?
I'll just let you know we've got Vorpal Bites joined us in the chat room before we bring Ken in. So, Dad, just want...
Hello, Vorp. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play this tune. We're going to go ahead and play this tune and try and get Ken in here. So, guys, here we go. This is Voices for Tommy. All right, it's going to be about a little over 2.5 minutes. And, we know Vorpal Bite will love it. And we're going to do this. This is the English Defense League radio show. Here we go, Jeff.
Thank you, Dave. That's a great one, isn't it, Dave, that one? Well, back to the English Defence League radio show. As I say, tonight we have an exceptional guest that will be joining us in a very short time. Am I right, Dave? How are we doing, Dave?
Well, I'm still trying to get Ken in, Jeff, so if you want to talk it up for just a little bit, I'm going to try one more thing before we give up, okay?
Yeah, no problem, sir. Yeah, we've got Flycatchers joined us in the chat room this evening as well, Dave, just to give you a heads up. He's got an interesting, he's going to say, Flycatcher says, humans are species of animal, and those animals of the Muslim faith are abominations. He goes on to say, Tommy Robinson is not his real name. Well, his real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon. That's a name that Tommy, it's a bit of a pseudo name, but everybody knows that Steve's real name now. Everybody, but he likes the name Tommy Robinson, and we like the name Tommy Robinson. It's him, whether it's Stephen or if it's Tommy. To us, it doesn't matter. It's what the man is all about. a legend of our time, a legend of all times. These generations that we live anyway. But there you go. It is what it is. And but at the time, I mean, a lot of people wonder why when the English Defence League started off, that everybody had masks on. And this is what Tommy once said. He said, "I knew as soon as I took this mask off, my life was going to change drastically." He was trying to protect his identity for his family and everything else. So, of course, that's the reason why he had his mask. But he did. He finally unmasked, and then you found out this young man that was underneath. A very young man at the time. I mean, he was almost 10 years ago. Like, he's 35 now, kind of 36. So that was like 10 years ago. Oh, hang on. It's Friday says Tommy Robinson and John of Arch have a lot in common. They possibly will have fly catch. I agree with you. But yeah, it's as I say, a lot of people wondered why that Tommy would do that. And at the time, the thing is, how many times have you heard as Tommy's a fascist, he's a racist, he's a Nazi? Well, I'll tell you what, the first thing Tommy did was to burn a swastika. That was one of the main videos that come out. He burnt a swastika, and he's hated by Tommy. We are hated by the right, the far right, the far left, the Muslims, government. They all hate us because we're on the right side of history, and they're not. We are, we do the right things, and we get, you get persecuted, as we see with Tommy. You get all the name calling, all those things that we've often seen it being a part of what we do. But we're not going away nowhere. As we said, we're never going to go away. We'll continue, until things are put right in this country. It seems like it's a long fight, it's a long battle, but we'll keep moving down that path anyway. So there you go. Let me come back out. I'll jump just back out there. Let's see. Tommy is a nationalist and carries the freedom torch of the English people. Oh,
good day, Kevin Clinton.
Audio there. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Ken, this is Dave.
Are you back?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
All right. Okay, everybody. I want to introduce you all to Ken McClinton, the CEO of the Exceptional Conservative Network. Jeff, thank you for talking everything up while I was trying to hook up with my friend here. A little bit of a trouble with the call-in number, but we got him. Yeah, we got him. Ken, welcome to the program. Welcome to the English Defense League Radio Show.
Well, I am just overwhelmed. Thank you, Jeff and Dave and everyone in the formerly free British Empire. It's better known now as Islam Central.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. Wow.
But we call them like the cabal now, Ken. We think of them as like the cabal. I think you do with certain parts of the deep state in the United States. I think that's how we look at them now, don't we?
Yeah, listen, Shakespeare would not have to go too far to have to write his writings right about now. Just say.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yes, you are.
Yes.
But I want to apologize to everyone around the world who's listening. There's really high security where I am right now. I happen to be reporting from the Jeffrey Epstein orphanage for wanton girls. So they have a little block cybersecurity thing. You can't get. Gotta be careful. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we have heard information. To me, it's coming across as he has been murdered now. It seems like these bones that was broken in his neck, it looks like a professional hit job on him, doesn't it? Well, I'm just saying, it's pure speculation, but to me, it sounds consistent to strangulation. Ken and Dave, your thoughts?
I don't know if it was a professional hit job, his suicide, but I just have a concern that there were 2 bullets in the back of his head. That's normally not how we do suicides. In all seriousness, I don't believe that it was a suicide. I really believe that he was murdered in prison. Apparently they found breakage in his neck, bones, and so that didn't look like it was a suicide. So they're still releasing information as we go along. But I just want to tell anyone, if Hillary Clinton is in your friend list, you might want to block her. Just saying.
Oh, it's all coming down. We've heard QAnon. He's letting quite a lot of information is coming out. It's the house of cards are starting to come down, crumble around them. There's panic. CIA are panicking. They're all on the panic stations. This is what I'm hearing, my friend.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing this side. That things are really opening up. I think within the next couple of months or so, we should see. I don't know, Ken. How do you feel about it? Have you seen things unravel as we're talking, as we go to air tonight?
Well, listen, I wanted to give great credit to Donald Trump, President of the United States, number 45, because when he came into office, the Department of Justice really began to do great work in terms of human trafficking and crack down on the global prostitution marketplace. And this is part of that, Jeffrey Epstein. So little by little, what we're beginning to find out is that it's not happenstance. It's not 2 or 3 guys sitting in the back seat of a van coming up with an idea of let's kidnap a few girls and prostitute them. No, this is part of that global elite that has created a slave market labor, which includes human trafficking. So all of that's beginning to break down little by little, and the perpetuators of that happen to be leaders in government, not just the United States, but Britain, Brazil, around the world. And so when you have people that come to office with integrity, those things get broken down very quickly.
Well, Ken, let me ask you a question.
I agree.
Now. I've been saying this for a while. Yeah, Jeff, I just want to bring in a point here.
Ken, you're so right. And do you know what, Ken? It's
okay. Well, I guess I'm not going to
really
bring in a point.
great honour and privilege. I know you've been very busy, and it's so good that you've joined us this evening with such a heavy. I know you've been covering the Jeffrey Epstein situation, but once again, I've got to thank you for coming and joining us. It's been a little while now, isn't it, Ken? It's always lovely to catch up with a fine gentleman like yourself.
It has been a while, and I'm just thankful for you all giving me the opportunity to come back on. And this fair bloke, Dave, had a comment that he wanted to make. So, Dave, what was your comment?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Listen, you always got my back, just like I always have your back. And listen, Bonnie, your producer, is not here today, so you will not be fined for anything, brother, okay?
Or censored.
Exactly. You can say what you want. You are home, my friend. You are home, okay? The question, I brought this up to Jeff on numerous occasions when we talk about this stuff. And the sense that I get is that they use these, they being the, whatever you want to call them, the globalists, the whatever, use these underage girls as a tool for blackmail of these world leaders. And this is why they're getting the protection they're getting now. This is why Epstein is riding a gurney in the morgue at this point. Do you think that's a credible notion?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say that it's really racist of you to use the term blackmail.
Well,
anyway.
Pardon me. For those who do not know, Mr. McClinton is pigmentally enhanced. That's the newest phrase.
I'm the guy who doesn't have to go out in the sun to get a shade or whatever or anything of that nature.
I must say,
I must say this to you all, that I've had friends who have visited Africa, and there have been world leaders that have provided for them certain accompaniments at their hotel room. You know, the usual champagne, caviar, and the average 15, 16-year-old girl. So what I'm saying to you all is this. It has, since the beginning of time almost, been a luxury of wealth and affluence, that you have sexual encounters with young ladies that are paid for and provided for. And we're not talking about the 35-year-old housewife. We're talking about 15, 16-year-old girls that are being manipulated and used. And we're not just talking girls, because a lot of people say, well, it's a girl, and those happen to be those individuals that live in Pakistan and the Islamic country. It's just a girl.
Right.
But I want to let you all know that we're talking about 8 to 13-year-old boys, too, this point.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we're talking about little boys who are being dressed up as girls and being manipulated and used in such a fashion by world leaders, those who have had access and influence. Let me just say this real quick. Jeffrey Epstein, when it comes to human trafficking, is only the first of many suicides to come. That's all I want to say on that particular.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Ken. And I just want to say, Jeff, I will give you a word in edgewise here, but, when you talk about the boys, because it is important for us to remember that the boys are included. And, yes, this is an ancient practice, and it's only been within the last few centuries that sex with children has been considered a taboo. But as we know now, this could be used, and I know Jeff agrees with me, non-white male. No, I see, but you can say it to compel these politicians to do whatever people want, and it's a diabolical process. But what you're talking about with the boys all brings me up to the point that I bring up every Halloween, which is that Dracula, Vlad Tepes was actually part of his makeup as he grew up. He was given in capture to to Islamic people, and they used him in that way. So yes, this does happen. And Jeff, I really want to give you a word in edgewise here, brother. What have you got to say about all this?
No, I'll tell you what. It's just lovely to hear you and Ken discussing these issues, and it's so. Do you know what, Ken? That's what I like. I just love hearing you have that. He's got that special laugh about him. It cracks me up. Can you make me laugh when you laugh?
Well, guys, I just want to say that Ken.
And that is it for this time. Next time, Part 3. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye.
The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.